The snow never stopped on Curran Station. It drifted inside the docking rings like quiet ghosts. The station was old. The heaters failed often. The rich stayed warm. The poor learned to endure. Jace was 12 years old. He lived in Section Grey. That was what the station authority called it. Everyone else called it the cold side. Metal walls, dim lights, air that burned the lungs, heat that came only when systems felt generous. Jace wore a thin shirt. He owned one coat. It was patched and heavy. It had belonged to his father. His father had died in a mining collapse. The coat was all Jace had left of him. Jace worked every day. He cleaned docking ramps. He carried cargo tags. He scraped ice from L. He did not complain. Complaints cost energy. Energy was food. That day the storm came early. A stellar cold front hit the station shield. Temperatures dropped fast. Warning lights flashed. Announcements echoed. Citizens were told to remain inside. Jace was outside anyway. He was clearing frost from an emergency hatch. He needed the extra credits. He always needed the extra credits. That was when he saw her. She was not human. She was small. She had pale blue skin. Her eyes glowed faint silver. Her hair looked like frozen light. She wore elegant clothes. They were thin. They were ceremonial. They were useless against the cold. She was sitting against a bulkhead. Her hands shook. Her breath came in short gasps. Frost crept along her sleeves. Jace stopped. He knew who she was. Everyone did. The Galactic Consul had arrived that morning. His species ruled half the trade lanes. His daughter had been seen during the reception. She was important. She was untouchable. She was freezing. Jace looked around. No guards, no aides, no diplomats. Just snow and steel. He stepped closer. She looked up at him. Fear flickered in her eyes. Then confusion. Then exhaustion. She tried to speak. Her lips barely moved. Jace did not hesitate. He pulled off his coat. The cold bit into his skin instantly. He ignored it. He wrapped the coat around her shoulders. It was too big. It swallowed her frame. But it was warm. Human warm. Stored heat. Worn history, her shaking slowed. Her eyes widened. She looked at him. She touched the coat. She touched his hand. Her voice was a whisper. "Thank you, Jace," smiled. It was small. It was tired. He stood up. He stepped back. He began scraping ice again. She watched him. She tried to stand. Her legs failed. Jace rushed back. He helped her up. Together they moved inside the hatch. Emergency heat hummed weakly. Enough to survive. Moments later, the guards arrived. They came fast. Weapons raised. Sensors active. They froze when they saw her. They knelt. They bowed. They spoke in rushed tones. She pointed at Jace. He stiffened. He expected anger. He expected accusations. He expected punishment. Instead, she said one word helped the guards looked at. Jace, their expressions changed. They escorted her away. They did not touch Jace. They left him standing alone, cold, shivering. That night, Jace slept under a vent. He had no coat. He dreamed of heat. He dreamed of his father. He dreamed of silver eyes. The next day, everything changed. Station security found him. They did not shout. They did not threaten. They escorted him to the upper ring. Jace had never been there. The air was warm. The lights were bright. The floors were clean. He was taken to a chamber of glass and gold. The Galactic Consul stood there. He was tall. His presence filled the room. His eyes were ancient. Jace felt small. The consul looked at him for a long time. Then he bowed, a full diplomatic bow. The room went silent. Jace froze. The consul spoke. "You saved my daughter. You did not know who she was. You did not ask for reward. You gave what you needed to survive." Jace did not answer. The consul stepped closer. "In my people's history, warmth is sacred. To give heat is to give life." He held out the coat. It was repaired, cleaned, reinforced with adaptive fiber. It hummed softly. My daughter would not give it back without improvement. Jace took it with shaking hands. The consul continued. "But this is not all," he gestured. A display activated. A legal document appeared by authority of the Galactic Council. Jace of Curran Station is granted protectorate status. Education, sponsorship, medical coverage, permanent residence upgrade. Jace stared. The consul raised a hand. "There is more." He looked directly at Jace. "You will serve as my daughter's human liaison, if you choose. You will teach her your customs, your endurance, your kindness." Jace finally spoke. "Why?" the consul answered without hesitation. "Because the galaxy misunderstands humans. It sees strength. It sees war. It sees ambition. It does not see this." He tapped the coat. "It does not see a boy who chose another life over his own comfort. My daughter learned something yesterday." "So did I." Jace swallowed. "What if I say no?" The consul smiled slightly. "Then you still keep everything. Because gifts given without demand are honored forever." Jace thought of the cold, the vents, the scraping, the hunger. He thought of the girl, the fear, the trust. He nodded. "I will do it." The consul placed a hand over his heart. "Then the galaxy will remember your name." News spread fast, faster than trade routes, faster than war rumors. A human boy, a coat, a frozen air. Stories crossed systems, on ice worlds, on desert moons, in deep void habitats. Humans were invited. Humans were welcomed. Humans were trusted, not because of fleets, not because of weapons, because one child gave warmth. Years passed. Jace grew. He studied. He traveled. He spoke for humanity. He never forgot the cold. He wore the coat during every major address. When asked why, he always answered the same way. "It reminds me who I am," and somewhere in the galactic archives, under cultural turning points, there is a simple record. The day the galaxy learned. Human warmth can change everything. Asterisk.